Hello, everybody. This is Joe from PrepAgent. I'm here a little early because I'm just testing everything. Okay, so if you guys could hear me, give me a thumbs up. Yesterday we had some issues, so I'm here 5 minutes early just to make sure everything's working all right. So if you guys could respond in the chat and let me know, I'll start teaching actually on the hour. But I just want to make sure everything's functioning well, because last night I had a bunch of issues. It did buffer when I started today, which immediately got me freaking out. So we tried changing some settings and whatnot. All right, so I got 4 minutes before we start. And you guys got any questions for Arthur, Adrian, and I about us as people, or what motivates us or inspires us, or what we order at Starbucks, or what we do for fun? Arthur is taking a kickboxing class. Adrian's a workout buff. I am an international man of mystery. Nobody's got any questions? That's right, Nora, I do teach you. Kim Ann says, who is the lovely woman's voice on some of your videos? Those videos are super old, Kim Ann. Those are, I had a voiceover person many, many years ago, but those ones were, those videos were really bad. But that was a voiceover woman I hired until I realized it's just easier to do it myself, and here we are. But yes, she was lovely. She had a great voice. She was actually a professional voiceover person. Ooh, Abigail wants to just jump right into it. Adrian, can you look up a defiance clause? Eric, I do not teach broker price opinions. Basically, those are just brokers' opinions. They're not actual law. So they don't come up on the real estate exam in the same manner. Hi, Nicole. In case you guys are wondering, my swimming is going well. Adrian's posted a defiance clause, just says the borrower will give the title to the property once all mortgage terms are met. So this sounds good today. I'm so excited. Yesterday was a nightmare. So I'm very excited today sounds good. Hopefully it won't jinx. Do you guys believe in jinxing things? Like the moment you say something, then the opposite happens? Oh, footnotes. Second webinar. What part of California? What am I going for the Super Bowl? Great question, Nicole. Neither. I mean, I'm going to watch it just because it's a cultural event in the U.S. that we all enjoy. But honestly, I'm not a big football fan. I'd be fine with either. I don't have a special hate or love for either one. Ooh, Burbank. Arthur, Adrian, and I are not big football fans. That's not true. Adrian has a team that he really enjoys following. Can you guys guess Adrian's team? I am excited for the halftime show. Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. Two very short, talented Latin women. Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. Found out Jennifer Lopez is only like 5'2" and Shakira is 4'11". Anyway, with that being said, we are ready to start the webinar. Now it is 12 o'clock East Coast time, And it is 9 o'clock Pacific time, so we're good to go. Seems like everything's working, and we're ready to go. Okay, so who here could tell me the 4 essentials of a valid contract? Who could tell me the 4 essentials of a valid contract? Anybody? What are the 4 essentials of a valid contract? So we got offer and acceptance, consideration, capable parties, and lawful object. Offer and acceptance, consideration, capable parties, mutual consent, lawful object, agreement, capable parties. So those are the 4 essentials of a valid contract: lawful object, consideration, agreement, capable parties. Good. What do you need for agreement to happen? There's a 3-step process, also known as mutual consent. What do you need for that agreement? Okay, so what you need is offer, acceptance, and to communicate back that acceptance. Remember, guys, it's a 3-step process. You need offer, acceptance, and to communicate back that acceptance. Remember, people forget that 3rd step, that you need to communicate back that acceptance. Because think of it this way: if you make an offer and you don't know it got accepted, there's a good chance you may write an offer on a different property. Okay? And then the owner's like, what happened? I thought you offered. Well, you didn't communicate back that acceptance. Okay? So you guys got to remember that 3-step process. All right, let's do the question from the board. A lease that provides for periodic increases of rent at regular intervals is called a yearly lease, B, long-term lease, C, graduated lease, or D, percentage lease. What do you guys think? And the answer is graduated lease. So we're talking about different types of leases here. When we talk about property ownership, we usually talk about the less than freehold estates: estate for years, periodic tenancy, estate at will, estate at sufferance. But since we're talking about contracts now, we'll talk about different types of leases in the form of percentage lease, sandwich lease, gross lease, and net lease. So who could tell me what is a net lease? What is a net lease? Can you guys tell me? What's a net lease? So a net lease would be when you pay for tax, insurance, and maintenance as the tenant. It's very common in commercial. Okay. What is a sandwich lease? What is a sandwich lease? What do you guys think? What is a sandwich lease? What is a sandwich lease? Who knows? What is a sandwich lease? Also known as subletting. Excellent. Good. What is a gross lease? A gross lease. A gross lease. So a gross lease is when you pay a set amount, very common on residential leases. And a percentage lease, what is a percentage lease? So a percentage lease would be when you pay an amount based upon a percentage of the money coming in. A percentage of the money coming in. Okay, fun question. Arthur wanted me to ask you guys. Arthur, are you there? If you're there, give me a thumbs up because I want to ask the question you've been eagerly awaiting. Everybody ready for his fun question for you guys? Okay, write to me, ready, ready. It's a fun question. If you get the answer right, we'll give you 3 fist bumps. Arthur will be ready with his fist bumps emoji. Okay, ready? Okay, here we go. On average, how many questions are answered per day in our PrepAgent system? What do you guys think? On average, how many questions are answered per day in our PrepAgent system? What do you guys think? How many do you guys think are answered? Just take a wild guess. How many questions are answered per day? By all our users, by everybody using our program. Not like per person, but by everybody. 10,000, 40,000, 1,500. Not per person, overall. So how many questions are answered per day by all of our users in our system? Okay, drum roll please. Arthur's going to write the answer. Not in the webinar, like in our system, in our program. Okay, and Arthur, you're going to write the answer. I will say it. The answer is 160,000. 160,000. 160,000 questions are answered per day by all our users. Just a little fun fact about our program, since all you guys are using it. Just to get an idea of how many people use our program every day. We got that. Some people are asking about like how many people do questions, and that's why Arthur's so awesome, because he had to build a program that could cater to all those people, and he did it himself. So it's truly impressive. So give him a big high five. That's all him. He built a system that could cater to all those people, including you guys. J. Edward, how many users passed the exam? Every single one of them. Nobody's ever failed, ever. I would be puffing on that. Who knows that word? Puffing. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. A listing agreement is an A, contract to find a buyer for a property, B, employment contract, C, unilateral or bilateral contract, D, all are correct. All are correct. Okay, listing contract is an employment contract. Oh, all are correct. Sorry, I got distracted. It's an employment contract. It's also could be unilateral or bilateral, and it's a contract to find a buyer. Man, I wasn't reading closely. Shame on me. Shame on me. Everybody write shame on you, Joe. By the way, somebody asked a question about what percentage of people pass. How many people get these courses, like crash courses, say 99% pass rate, 95% pass rate, 100% pass rate? Those kind of annoy me because that's really not factual, simply because when you take a course, you are not obligated to tell your crash course provider, your exam prep provider, your course provider, any kind, if you passed or not. So there's no real way for any of them to have an exact figure on their pass rate. They list those pass rates because it's a good marketing tool. They got to come up with a number because the next guy does. So I just want everybody to be clear. They just say 95% because the guy next to them said 90%. And the next guy says 100%. But there's really no way to actually have that information because you guys are not obligated to report if you pass or fail to the people who prepare you. So don't fall for that stuff. We don't like those people. Okay, so we're talking about listings right now. There's another question of listings on the board. So as we just saw, listings and employment contract. There are 2 general categories of listings. Do you guys know what they are? What are the 2 general categories of listings? What are the two general categories of listings? What do you guys think? So the two general categories are exclusive and open. You got open listings and you got exclusive listings. Another word for an open listing would be a non-exclusive listing. Okay, it would be a non-exclusive listing would be another word for a open listing. Okay, what is the difference between an exclusive listing and an open listing? Who could tell me that? What is the difference between an exclusive listing and an open listing? What do you guys think? What is the difference between exclusive listing and open listing? Exclusive listing means you have a relationship with one broker. An open listing means you have a relationship with many, just like in romantic relationships. If you have an open relationship, you have a relationship with many people, and nobody can have a problem with that because that's part of what's agreed upon. In an exclusive relationship, you're a relationship with one person, and if you have relationships with others, then that could be a problem. And much like in romantic relationships, the open one is not as common as the exclusive one. The exclusive one is way more common. Now, with exclusive listings, there's two types we talk about. Who knows what are the two types of exclusive listings we talk about? So what we talk about is the exclusive right to sell and the exclusive agency listing. Exclusive right to sell and exclusive agency listing. Those are the two types of exclusive listings we talk about. What is the difference between those two items? What is the difference between the exclusive right to sell and exclusive agency? What do you guys think? What is the difference? So exclusive right to sell means if a buyer comes, the agent gets paid no matter what. Whereas exclusive agency, if the seller sells it themselves, you as the agent would get paid nothing. Now, which of those out of the exclusive right to sell, exclusive agency, and an open listing would you not need to prove that you're the procuring cause of the buyer? Which of those would you not need to prove that you're the procuring cause of the buyer? The exclusive right to sell. Good job, Desert Ranch Girl and Romulo Romano. Great job. Excellent. Okay, let's look at the question on the board. During the term of an exclusive right and right to sell listing, the broker has his license revoked by the Real Estate Commission. To prove that he is entitled to a commission, he must prove all the following except A, that the listing was legally binding agreement, B, that he was licensed at the time the commission was earned, C, that the buyer and the seller agreed to the sale during the listing term, or D, that he was procuring cause of the sale. We just talked about this. We should get the answer correct here, and the answer is D, that he was the procuring cause of the sale. Ooh, I feel like we're doing well today. Are we all watching the Super Bowl this weekend? There's not going to be many open houses. Okay, next question. Consideration may be A, a promise, B, work, C, all the other options may be considered consideration, or D, money. What do you guys think is consideration? And the answer is C. All the other options may be correct. Nicole Berry says go Chiefs and Patrick Mahone. I actually used to live in Santa Clara right by that stadium where the stadium is now, but I left, so I don't care anymore, so screw them. They could lose. But I've never lived in Kansas City. Never even driven through it. Maybe I should visit sometime. I hear it's actually, to be honest, I've heard nothing about Kansas City. Not much. So I really got no skin in the game. Somebody give me an interesting Kansas City fact before this webinar is done. That'd be great. Okay, avoidable contract remains binding upon the parties until the contract is A, discovered, B, invalidated, C, rescinded, D, qualified. Dorothy's from Kansas and Wizard of Oz. That's not Kansas City. But she is from Kansas. Okay, and the answer is rescinded. Okay, so you got void, voidable, and valid. Void, voidable, and valid. What is a valid contract? What is a valid contract? Who knows? What is a valid contract? A valid contract is a contract that has all four essentials. All four essentials. We went over that before: mutual consent, consideration, lawful object, consideration. That is a valid contract. Avoidable contract means it's valid, but you have the right to rescind because either you were lied to or you were put under duress, which means you were threatened or pushed something you want to do. And a void contract obviously lacks one of those four essentials. And move right along. Somebody asked me where I'm originally from. Where do you guys think I'm originally from? Based on my accent, where do you guys think? It's definitely not Newfoundland. Those people speak like Beeper from the Muppets. Or the Swedish Chef in the Muppets. I am from the suburban tri-state New York area. That's where I'm originally from. But I left there when I was like 18. Thanks, Patricia. Suburbia. My accent comes out when I say words like accent and water and door. Awesome. Okay, move right along. When a buyer withdraws his offer to purchase real property prior to acceptance by the seller, the A, seller is entitled to 1/2 of the earnest money deposit. B, a broker may sue a buyer for a specific performance. C, a seller may sue the buyer for a specific performance and will probably win the suit. Or D, buyer is entitled to the refund of the earnest money deposit. Okay, and the answer is D, buyer is entitled to the refund of the earnest money deposit. Good job, everybody. Who here could tell me what it means to sue for a specific performance? We actually just did a video about this. I'm not sure if it's finished yet. I think it is. But regardless, if it's not done now, it'll be up soon. What is specific performance? And that was a really hard voiceover to do. To say specific performance many times over could be challenging. You guys try saying that 10 times in a row. What is specific performance? So when you sue for specific performance, the reason you do it is because money won't suffice. For example, if you have a house I want to buy and I sue you to sell that house, okay, it's because if you give me money, I can't use that money to buy another house exactly like it. Your house is very unique. Now, that is an extreme example, but it helps explain the concept. You're suing because money won't suffice. You need the act done, okay? As opposed to suing for money. A broker cannot sue for specific performance. They sue for money. Does everybody got that? So Relentless Ruthie says mechanics lien, is that specific performance? No. A mechanics lien is when somebody does work, wants money. So Arthur Sell will be launching that video on specific performance in about a week, so look for that. It's a good one. It's a doozy. Tenant Albert agrees to perform certain property repairs for owner Bob. Despite repeated promises, Albert fails to perform the repairs. Bob then writes up a contract and compels Albert to sign it by threatening to evict him if he doesn't. Such a contract would be A, voidable, B, enforceable, C, void, or D, illegal. And the answer would be voidable because he was threatened. He was threatened. Remember, that's a form of putting somebody under duress, so it makes it voidable. Somebody asked in the chat if a specific performance is the same as a specific lien. Nope, they are nothing similar other than the word specific. Specific lien just means if you don't pay, then the consequences is they could take one thing specifically, such as your property. Like when you get a mortgage, that's a specific lien. Specific performance has to do with forcing you to perform an act. Okay, so they're very different. Good question. In which of the following situations could a broker receive no commission? Ooh, that's a good question. A, the broker proves that he is the procuring cause of the buyer in an exclusive agency listing. B, the broker proves that he is the procuring cause of the buyer in an exclusive right to sell listing. C, the broker proves that he is the procuring cause of the buyer in an open listing. Or D, the broker proves that he is the procuring cause of the buyer in a net listing. What do you guys think? And the answer is what do you guys think? I see a lot of D's. Good, and a net listing. So net listings are legal in some states, illegal in others. In many states, they're frowned upon. For this exact reason, you could bring in a buyer and you could get no commission. Because if the house listed for $500,000, you bring it on for $500,000, you would get nothing. You would get nothing. Okay? So that's why a lot of states don't allow them. Because there's that conflict of interest because you have that offer of $500,000, but you're reluctant to give it to the seller, even though it's in the best interest of the seller, because you just did all that work for nothing, and that would stink. My sound still sounds good, everybody? I'm so excited it sounds good. Yesterday was so awkward for me. But luckily, Adrian was there to save me. My hero. Okay, Broker Joe takes an exclusive listing on a property owned by 3 different people. Broker Jones takes the listing contract to each of their places of business to get signed. Broker Jones must A, only one signature is needed. B, give one copy to any of the 3 owners. C, give a copy to each owner when he or she signs or gets them together and sign at the same time. Or D, give a copy to the first owner who signs only. And the answer is C. Give a copy to each owner when he or she signs to get them together in one place to sign at the same time. Here's a tough question for you guys. You guys ready for a tough question? Everybody write, I'm ready. I'm ready. And it's going to be like a double question, maybe even triple. My question is, do all real estate contracts need to be in writing? Do all contracts, let me make it a little more easy. Do all contracts, do they need to be in writing? What do you guys think? Do all contracts need to be in writing? No. And here's the tough one. Ready? Here's the tough one. If a contract needs to be in writing and it's not, what is the status of that contract? If a contract does need to be in writing, what is the status of that contract? So according to the statute of frauds, that contract needs to be in writing. Statute of frauds says writing. Statute of limitations says time. What do you guys think? Oh, nobody's getting it right. Oh, Marta Grissom got it right. Marta. Like I say, everybody needs to have their name chanted sometimes. It would be unenforceable. It's not void, because remember, writing is not one of the 4 essentials of a valid contract. So it would not make it void, because it still can have the 4 essentials of a valid contract. Everybody got that? You can still have agreement, capable parties, consideration, lawful object. So the answer would be unenforceable. Great job, Marta Grissom. It would be unenforceable. Thank you, Romulo Romano. I got many of you guys on that one. I'm saving that in my tough question drawer. Okay, here we go. The earnest money accompanying a purchase offer, A, is generally 7.5% of the proposed purchase price. B, is not necessary to establish a valid contract. C, is mandated by federal law. D, must be held in escrow by the seller. So I have a lot of regular people here. So guys, let's help out the new people. So if somebody has an issue with their screen's blurry, just write to them to change the settings to 720 HD. That's that gearbox on the bottom right. So if you guys wouldn't mind helping us out with that, that'd be awesome. Okay, and the answer here is B, it is not necessary to establish a valid contract. What is the earnest money contract? What is the earnest money? It's also called a good faith deposit. It's also known as a good faith deposit. What that does is it shows that you're serious about your offer to purchase the home. Highly recommended, but not necessary. That's right, Nicole. It's like an engagement ring. It shows you're serious about your offer. Highly recommended, but not necessary. So, Nicole, we could get married without having that ring. And you tell me we could, but I'm not happy about it. I don't recommend it. Right, Nicole? If I said, will you marry me? And I had no ring, you'd be like, you are not serious about your offer. And that's where that analogy comes in. But like I said, it's not an essential to the contract. Like I could give you like, I don't know, a new pair of sneakers instead. They'd be really awesome sneakers. Ooh, Nicole says she doesn't like jewelry, likes cash. Man, now we're getting to like a dowry, which I guess an engagement ring kind of is. I watched that show, 90 Day Visa, and the guy had to pay the dowry to the girl from Thailand. Did you guys see that? Anyway. Okay, here we go. You enter into a contract with a person not knowing he was judicially declared incompetent. So he's legally incompetent. The incompetence of one of the parties to this agreement would make the contract A, enforceable, B, voidable, C, valid, or D, void. Anastasia Burgess, she binge watches 90 Day Visa. We'll have a watch party one day. Okay, and the answer is D, void. We went over this, void, valid. This is one of the essentials of a valid contract. If they're not legally competent, contract is void. By the way, on our group, we noticed people started doing watch parties. If you guys notice, people are doing watch parties that are not relevant to what the topic of that group is, which is getting past the real estate exam, please report it. We've had people do watch parties for political agendas and, you know, putting their political beliefs on it. And obviously that can be a very divisive topic these days, and that's not something we want on that group. We want everybody to unify and feel together. So if you guys see anything like that on our group, please report it. We don't need that stuff. Right, guys? Kim Man says they're boring anyway. Okay, here we go. A written purchase agreement has been signed by both a buyer and seller. The Uniform Vendor and Purchase Risk Act states that until the buyer has either possession of or title to a property, responsibility for the physical condition of the property, A, is delegated to the buyer, who upon signing has equitable title to the property. B, is assumed by the seller's homeowner's insurance company. C, remains with the seller. Or D, is given to a third party. Somebody asked which groups. On Facebook, we have the PrepAgent Real Estate Exam Study Group. Adrian just posted it there. If you choose to join, make sure you answer the questions, because we deny people who do not answer the questions, because then we think you're a spammer. That group is almost at 17,000, so we got to like watch for spammers. And the answer to the question on the board is C, remains with the seller. Remains with the seller. Arthur just posted our Instagram. You can check that as well. And since we are talking about this, do not forget about our referral program. If you guys refer somebody, we want to send you a thank you in the form of an Amazon gift card. So don't forget about that as well, guys. We want to send you a little thank you. So Ramilo's a 17-year-old married, valid contract. That's right, Ramilo. Once you're married, you are what's called emancipated. Okay, a contract which authorizes a real estate agent to sell a property during a specified time and allows that person to collect a commission if the sale is made by anyone, including the owner, is A, an open listing, B, an exclusive right to sell, C, an exclusive agency, and D, a net listing. And we went over these listings earlier in the webinar. Remember, guys? And the answer is B, exclusive right to sell. A buyer paid $2,800 for an option to purchase a property within 90 days for $450,000. Within a month, the buyer made an offer to buy the property immediately for $425,000. Which of the following is true in this situation? A, the owner may accept the offer for $425,000. B, the buyer is in default of the option agreement. C, the option money is forfeited. Or D, both parties are in violation of the contract law. What do you guys think? And the answer is the owner may accept the offer for $425,000. Real quick, flash question. Ad valorem is Latin for what? Go. Who's the answer that quickest? Surprise question, out of nowhere, left field. Ad valorem is Latin for what? Who can tell me what ad valorem is Latin for? According to value. According to value. Good job. Lease pendants. Go. Lease pendants. Lease pendants would be Latin for lawsuit pending or pending litigation. Okay, next question on the board. A broker receives a full price offer on a house he has listed in accordance with the terms of the listing. Before he can present the offer, another broker brings in an offer of $500 less, but with slightly better terms. The listing broker should A, present both offers at the same time, B, present both offers in the order received, C, refuses to accept the second offer, or D, tell the broker the property has been sold. And the answer is A, present both offers at the same time. Okay, let's do one more question. Before I do that, I want to thank you guys for yesterday for bearing with us when we had our technical troubles. You guys were super supportive and patient, and it is appreciated. We do all this online, so obviously it leaves room for glitches from time to time. So I really do appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Okay, let's do the next question. I'm super psyched everything's going well today. What a relief. To be valid, a listing contract must contain all the following except A, expiration date, B, signatures of all interested parties, C, final contract price, or D, legal description of the property. Goodies just made a request to join that group. Adrian, make sure you add Goodies. I feel like she's going to be a quality contributor to the group. 17,000 people better be ready. Okay, and the answer is final contract price, C. So everybody got that right? So that's all for me, Adrian Arthur, for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a pleasure helping you guys learn this stuff. Relentless Ruthie, what's the group name? It's the PrepAgent Real Estate Exam Study Group on Facebook, and on Instagram it's prep_agent. So have a great weekend, guys. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll be back on Monday. Bye, everybody.